With the Armenian and Azerbaijanis in open hostilities, it's time to take a look at the players involved in the conflict. The Azerbaijani Armed Forces. Armenia's neighbor to the east, the Azerbaijani or Azeri Armed Forces are broken down into three main components: the Azeri Land Forces, the Azeri Navy, and the Azeri Air Force. In terms of the conflict taking place, the Azeri Navy will have very little, if any, role to play. They mainly are a protective force on the Caspian Sea and have very little they can do to influence the situation in the region of Nagorno-Karabakh. This leaves us with the Azeri Land Forces and the Azeri Air Force as the primary forces to be used in combat. The Azeri Air Force, while smaller in size and capability than many of their neighbors in the region, they still are more than a formidable opponent against the Armenians. While the majority of their aircraft are transport helicopters and cargo aircraft, they do employ several first-line strike and fighter aircraft. The most formidable of these are undoubtedly the MiG-29 Fulcrums. These single-seat dual-engine air superiority fighters are the primary air defense aircraft of the nation. While not the most advanced fighters of many of their larger neighbors such as Turkey or Russia, they are more than capable against the Armenian Air Force, which has no modern fighter aircraft to speak of. The Azeris are also equipped with the aging yet modernized MiG-21 Fishbed and the capable and extremely fast MiG-25 Foxbat. While both of these are aging warbirds of the 1960s and 1970s, again, they are still capable against an Armenian Air Force without any air-to-air fighter aircraft. These aircraft, however, are not very effective in a ground attack role that will be needed in the hostilities in the mountainous Nagorno-Karabakh region. For this test, the Azeris will rely on their fleet of Mi-35 Hind attack helicopters and their Su-25 Frogfoot ground attack aircraft. The Mi-35 is merely the export variant of the venerable Mi-24. This formidable helicopter has seen its share of combat over the 40 or so years it has been in service. Armed with heavy cannons, rocket pods, and guided missiles, this helicopter has earned its reputation on the battlefield. The Su-25 also has a feared reputation as a ground attack and close support aircraft, able to carry a fairly sizable payload of smart and unguided weapons, including bombs, air-to-air and air-to-surface missiles, rocket and gun pods, and boasting a 30mm cannon. The Su-25 is an effective aircraft that has seen combat in numerous conflicts around the world. The Azeri Air Force also controls the air defense assets of the country, including the S-300 PMU system, one of the most advanced and feared air defense systems currently in service. It can provide good air protection for the Azeri forces from air attack. With the range the system also has, it can be used to target Armenian aircraft over their own territory. The Azeris also have 2 units of the Buk M1, a much more mobile option but with lesser range than the S-300. This will provide the Azeri ground forces with a capable air defense system for forward-deployed units that will be far more capable than the assorted man-portable systems they operate. A more recent weapon platform introduced has been the use of a combat UAV, or UCAV, known as the Bayraktar. These drones were currently purchased by Azerbaijan in June of 2020 and have been reported being used in the current hostilities against Armenian forces. The Azeri Land Forces are much more numerous and more modern than their Armenian adversaries. The bulk of their tank forces will employ the venerable T-72. But with a fair number of the more modern T-90 also available, they could see combat in this conflict. Their tank forces are backed by infantry supported with BMP-3 IFVs and assorted older BMPs and BTRs. The most dangerous weapon systems are the multitude of artillery systems they have to employ. The most advanced of their self-propelled gun artillery are the Russian-made 2S-19 152mm systems and the Czech-made SPGH Dana 152mm system. The Azeris are also equipped with the Russian TOS-1 Buratino heavy flamethrower system, a 220mm thermobaric warhead multiple rocket launcher, or MRL system. This is in addition to the BM-30 300mm Smerch MRL and numerous other systems, including the BM-21. The Azeris are also believed to be armed with the Israeli LoRa TBM system. The Azeri Armed Forces are a professional and capable fighting force. They are superior in the amount of equipment and forces and employed in the capabilities of their much more modern system they have in their inventory. Their air force is more than able to defend their own skies from Armenian attacks and are capable of launching some of their own strikes in concert with their ground forces. Their land forces will be able to employ heavier and more capable armored units and artillery against the Armenians. However, the terrain over which this conflict is being fought is one that favors the defender. It is a mountainous region. This allows small units to be able to slow down the advance of much heavier armored and armed forces entering the region. While the Azeri Air Force is a capable combat force, they will not be as effective over Armenian territory as the Armenians, who are cognizant of their lack of fighter support. They have robust air defense weapons, including many man-portable systems. These will be a constant hazard to close air support aircraft, especially the Mi-35 Hinds and the Mi-17 HIP transport helicopters that will be supporting any attacks. This will also be a hazard for the Turkish-made Bayraktar drones being employed. While they may be a much more numerous and heavily armed force, the Armenians will more than likely employ the terrain to their advantage to slow any attack into the region. While they may take losses to the Azeris, the Armenians may inflict heavier losses on the Azeris the further they enter into the region. Stay tuned for our next video as we examine the tactical analysis of the Armenians. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe and click the notification bell to be alerted on the release of new videos.